Today I'd like to review and rate 3 design apps that have recently been added to the app marketplace on Canva. So if you're ready, let's go. Hey, what's up everyone? Ronnie here. Welcome back to your Canva channel where I teach you with Diana everything that you need to know about Canva. This is our hot new Canva apps series, episode 9 already. Today I have 3 apps that I believe will be of interest to you. And these are mostly design apps, so things that will help you improve your design workflows. Let's discover them. Easy Reflections is an app that promises to help us create easy reflections of any objects that we use in Canva. So the promise here is that you can add reflections to any design in just a few clicks to elevate your product shots and depth to your portrait or enhance your creative graphics with realistic reflection effects. All right, let's go find this app. Easy Reflections. There you go. There it is. For those of you who are a little bit lost here, I am using the Apps tab right here in my object panel. Also, I have decided to use the order interface of Canva because I know not all of you already have access to the Canva Glow app, so the new version of Canva. It is coming. It is rolling out slowly, progressively to all Canva users so that Canva doesn't break if something happens. But yeah, this is a deliberate choice that I made to use the older version. So Easy Reflection, found it. It's this one right here with the sneakers kind of like photo logo. So I'm going to click on it and this is what it looks like. Easy Reflection, select an element in your design. Okay, so I need some elements. I have a few here. Okay, I have selected a kind of a background and a shoe right here without a background. So what I'm going to do is to first place this background on my design like so. I need to position it in the back. Now I have the shoe floating right here. I want to create a realistic reflection of this shoe right here in the other part of the background, the part that is darker right here. So I will select the shoe and then use the Easy Reflection app, create reflection. So you see the button is now, it became purple, so it means I can activate. And once I click, I see more options popping up in the menu. And the first one is the position section right here. So I can see by default it's going to be positioned as below. So this is a reflection that will appear below the object. So it will come right here, which is kind of what I need here. You could do it above. Okay, you see the shadow is slightly changing. So below, the shadow is more on the bottom of the image. Above, it's the opposite. Then you have left or right. Okay, I'm going to go with below. Then you have an offset slider. This allows you to kind of like play around with the offset for this reflection. So the more you go to the right here, up to 100%, you will have your full object kind of like in its full intensity. But if you go more to the left here, you see more shadow covering your object. So I'm going to go somewhere around 40, like so. And then you have your opacity. So that's the opacity of the reflection. I'm going to go for something a little bit subtle here, not too bright. I'm going to go for 31. Okay, once I'm good, I can add this to my design. So there you go. The shoe has been added here. It's not exactly the same size as my first object. You see it's bigger, but I'm going to try to fix that by simply trying to align both of my objects right here. So I have the shoe like so, and I have its reflection right here. So what I did, I slightly rotated my reflection so that it kind of matches in a more natural way the shoe that I had here. And this looks pretty realistic to me. Now, if you want to further adjust this reflection right here, what you can do is to select it and then go to your edit image button right here. So from here, you could play around with the adjust button to add more shadows or, like play with the light, the highlights, make it brighter, more contrast, etc., etc. So you could fine tune that reflection this way. That's one way of doing it. Another way is just to play around with transparency right here. You see, you could make that more subtle if you wanted to kind of like imply that this surface right here, that floor, is more or less reflective. So that's quite interesting. And whenever you are happy with your reflection, you can just leave it like so. What I suggest you do is that you group them by selecting both of them. You see, I'm clicking outside of the frame and then dragging my click so I can group them. And now I can move this around. But obviously, this will work best if you position your shoe right there at the intersection of the wall and the floor. So yeah, this is a convincing first try of easy reflection. I'm pretty happy with this. Now let's move on to another example. I want to continue kind of showing you with a slightly different project. So I have this table right here. I found this in the Canva library. It's a photo of a wet table. Seems to be like a cafe, like a terrace. And I have this soda can that I also found in the Canva library. First of all, I'm going to stretch this so that I have my entire page right here covered by this background photo of the table. Okay, my first challenge is to scale this can of soda so that it looks realistic in terms of scale, right? In terms of its size on the table. So maybe probably something like so kind of looks realistic. I'm gonna put it in a position where maybe it does make sense. Like, okay, let's imagine someone was sitting here and they finished that can of soda and now it's just laying there empty and they moved on to something else. Okay, I think this looks realistic. Now let's create the reflection. Don't forget to select your object. Okay, so I clicked on the soda can. I'm going to create the reflection, and this time I'm going to create it above, no, to the right. I could create it to the right. I could try to create it on this side. Let's try that. So offset, yeah, okay, let's try a more like intense reflection this time. Let's try this. Okay, so again, I need to adjust this can to its size. You see how I'm doing this? So I positioned it like this. On the bottom, you see this purple dotted line. This indicates I am touching the bottom part of this image right here. And now all I have to do is to do the same, like shrink it from the top until I see this dotted line on the top. All right, so this is how I'm planning to do so. All right, so now the hard part is to make this reflection realistic. This is not so realistic so far. Maybe I reduce the transparency. This doesn't really work. So maybe the right reflection is not the right one. So I'm gonna go for below again and add this one instead. I'm gonna do the same, resize, and probably have to resize this can to something like this. All right, so I'm trying to find the right realistic position for this, and you can crop. You see how you can crop part of it? So try that. That's a little bit too cropped. Okay, so this could work, but it's too intense. So I'm gonna reduce, oops, not the photo, but the can. So this one right here, make sure you select the right object for your reflection. And now this is what I have. I'm gonna bring it back to its full size, and I can adjust manually with my keyboard arrows. Okay, so my soda can is now sitting on the table, and this is its reflection. I'm adjusting with my keyboard arrows to move the shadow. So this is kind of realistic. I mean, it's good enough for me. And I believe this is where I'm going to leave this demo of the Easy Reflections app. So my verdict is that I kind of like the app. I think it allows me to do things that were not so straightforward to do with Canva. If I wanted to create such a reflection, I would have to make a copy, flip the image, reduce the transparency, and then figure out the right angle, just like I tried to do with the app. But the first steps are being automated for me. So basically, Easy Reflections does what it says it does. It creates easy reflections. So that's why I'm giving this app a 4-star out of 5. Now, there are two things I wish this app could do for me in order to be a 5 out of 5, a perfect app. The first one is to provide me with a collection of cool backgrounds, glossy surfaces, water kind of setup where I can create my reflections, or product photo studios or photo sets where I could position my objects for the reflections. All of that would really help the purpose of this app, which is to enhance your product shots and to create create like cool effects with your portraits and other images. So the lack of these proper background, I had to go through the Canva library and spend quite a bit of time to find this wet table and to find this kind of like abstract background for the shoe demonstration. I wish the app could provide some background. And the second thing I wish the app could do is to help me kind of like positioning the reflection, like to have it at the right size so I don't have to resize it, and to position it at such an angle on my design that I don't have to look for it myself. I don't have to just rotate everything until I find the perfect realistic reflection. I wish the app could do that for me. Now, let's review one of my favorite apps made by Canva. It's called Mockups, all right? It's not a new app, but it's recently been upgraded or improved or just supercharged. I don't know how you want to tell it, but it's become much better than it used to be, Mockups, okay? So that's kind of like the evolution of smart mockups. Canva then decided to just call it Mockups. So let me show you first how to get it. Go to your apps, search for Mockups. There you go, Mockups, and it looks like so. Another way to find the Mockups app is to simply go to your edit image, and you can find it under the apps section right here. Okay, you see Mockups, it's right here. So I'm gonna use Mockups from here. All right, now that I have the app open, all I need to start creating mockups is either a photo or, and that's the novelty here, or a vectored graphic. Okay, so let me show you, because previously with the Mockups app, we weren't able to use a simple graphic like this one right here. So how do I know this is a graphic? Well, if I click on edit image, I see that none of these photo editing tools are available. This is a vector because I can change its color, right? So this is definitely an element. It's a graphic in Canva, and I'm going to show you that I can use the Mockups apps with this graphic right here. So let's start by having a look at all the different mockups we can use right here. So we have our popular mockups. We have a section called videos. I'm going to come back to this one in a second. We have smartphones, prints, apparel, computers, frames, home and living. Let's create a tote bag with this little sunglasses emoji. Let's see. This one maybe? Okay, so I just clicked on it, and you see it will be generated automatically. The emoji is going to be on the bag. Now, it seems that I have a square, like a black square showing around my graphic, and I believe it's still going to happen for vector elements so far. But there is a workaround this, but that will limit you to only one color, the black. So I could change the color of this object. You see the bag right here, it's currently white. I could change that to black and apply the change, and this would kind of like do the trick, but I cannot have a white tote bag, all right? So with a graphic element so far. And I've tried with a few different ones. So if I come back, for example, I use this little watermelon graphic right here. It's not a vector. You see, I don't have the different colors. I believe this is the rule. If it's a vector, it will show with a black square or rectangle around it. And if it's not a vector, like this guy right here, let me show you going back to mockups. Let's put it on a mug this time. There, I don't have the black background. So this is something I wanted to show you. There's still a little bit of limitation in terms of using objects like graphics instead of just photos. But where mockups really shines is when you are using photos. So I have this letter right here. It is a photo. How do I know? Because I click on edit image and I have all of my photo editing apps right here. So this is a fluffy R kind of like letter. It's really cool. It's really hairy and it's really realistic. So how about we put this on a t-shirt? So R for Ronnie. Let me come back to the Mockups app right here. Okay, so I'm going to search in apparel. Okay, see all. And I'm going to be using this model right here. Okay, this lady right here. I'm gonna click on the photo. What Canva is gonna do here is to integrate my image, my photo, directly into the mockup. like so. And there we go. We have that lady here with the t-shirt. So let me show you a few more options here in Mockups. So once you have integrated your photo onto the mockup, you can fill up the entire space. Let me apply this change to see like how much bigger this has become. You can make it fit, or you can smart crop. Smart crop is the same feature that exists in Canva's photo editing tools, the magic tools, that will rotate and reframe, kind of crop the image in the best way possible to give it the best perspective possible. So here we don't see much of a difference, but it has been slightly rotated. What else can I do? I can align this in the middle, bottom, to the right. You see how this is moving right here. I am going to do this kind of manually, okay? I'm going to reduce this slightly so it's not too big, position it at the center and apply the changes. I like it like so. Okay, maybe push it a little bit more up, like so. Apply the changes again. Perfect. I like it right there. So these are the different things. Again, you can change the color of the t-shirt. Okay, so we could go for a light yellow if we wanted to. We'll change the t-shirt color. Let's come back to white, kind of like the white t-shirt, like classic. And now let me show you how you can generate more of the same. Let's say you have a website and you are trying to sell this t-shirt. So let me show you how you would do that. Let's first move this image to this side. I'm going to click on the image, detach the image with the detach image button, and now I can keep the mockup, but I detached my original photo. And if I come back to mockups right here, click on it and click on the letter again, so we can see the different mockups. So let's come back to apparel and find another way to present this t-shirt, kind of like this one. Okay, so I'm going to click out, click on the t-shirt. What's going to happen is that Canva is going to bring the mockup to my page. All right, this looks good. I'm going to position it here because I want to show you a different way to insert the image inside the mockup. And then finally, I want a third image. I think I've seen one with the t-shirt kind of like folded. This one right here. Okay, I'm going to bring that to my design as well, make it the same size. Actually, I'm going to put this one, the bottom there, and this one here. Okay, same size. All right, now I'm going to duplicate this by holding my Option key and just moving the letter around. And I'm just going to drop it on the first t-shirt right here. There we go. Drop it here as well. There you go. And I'm going to drop it on this last one as well. So you see different ways I can insert my photos or objects inside the mockups. Now, something I notice here is that it's not quite right. So this t-shirt right here is not the same as this one. So you see this letter shouldn't go all the way to the neck of this t-shirt. So I'm going to click on it and you see my letter here. I can drop it down until it becomes realistic. So I'm going to apply this change. All right, almost there, maybe a little bit more. So I'm going to drag it slightly more, like so. And again, apply change. There you go. Now this looks more realistic, but I'm going to push it up slightly, like so. I'm a perfectionist here. Yeah, there you go. So now I have my main photo for my website that I could stretch all the way up, something like this. And I have kind of created a little montage here on the second page with the title and a short description for these t-shirts. But yeah, you can easily create nice layouts like this one. This is very simple. You could make this more elaborated, but I have the same t-shirt presented nicely, and I believe the Mockup app is now super powerful. But that's not all. There's one more thing, an important thing I want to show you with the Mockup app. So for this, I'm going to move to this next page right here where I have a screenshot taken from my phone. It's just the homepage of our YouTube channel. So what I want to show you, if I come back to the mockups, is this video section right here. Let's click on See All, and you would see if I hover my mouse over these mockups, you see a little duration. These are videos. So Canva has introduced video mockups. And now you can insert a still image like this screenshot into a moving object, a video object. So here, obviously, I kind of need a phone. So I need to find one with a phone that kind of makes sense. This one is cool. I'm gonna grab this one. So when you insert an image into a video mockup, it will take a little bit more time than when you work with a still mockup. So here, I'm not gonna speed up the video so you can see the exact time it takes to create that mockup. So there you go. It took about 15 seconds. I'm gonna make this full screen, all right? So by just stretching this image to the entire, I would say, page, and just play that. Wow, it's pretty crisp. And everything is really, like, the perspective is really realistic. Let's play that again. This is really cool. I am bluffed by this. I think this is a massive upgrade from the previous Mockups app. So yeah, there you go, guys, video mockups. I'm sure Canva is going to continue adding more and more of these video mockups. They have the same features, so you can select different alignments, you can flip your image, you can fit the image differently on the mockup as well, and you can also detach your image or screenshot from the mockup. So all of this makes the Mockups app really interesting and really useful for designers who want to bring their design to life or simply showcase something for their website, for their presentation, for a product they're building, like the t-shirt example. So yeah, Mockups apps, it's been refined, it's been streamlined, it's super fast, it's flexible, it has video mockups. What else can we ask for? Maybe the possibility to create your own mockup from any image you find. So let's say I have a car, like I find a car in Canva, in the Canva library, and I want to brand this car with my logo. I could turn that car into a mockup. I believe this is coming. It's not there yet, but it's still very good. And that is why I'm giving Mockups a 4.5 out of 5. Very good app. The next app I would like to review is called TypeLettering. All right, let's find it in the library first. So TypeLettering. I believe everything is stuck into one word, and this is the logo. Let's click on it and see what this app is all about. All right. The promise of this app is to let us create creative design with text, basically text effects. It's based on a bunch of different templates that have been created for us by this company called Pixel Thinkers. All right, so Pixel Thinkers is not at its first app on Canva. This is a very cool company that is creating a bunch of useful apps in Canva. Let's quickly have a look at their website because I'm sure you will recognize some other apps these guys have created. So they are also the creators of Type Extrude. Okay, this app right here, which I was about to review in this episode, but I decided to go with TypeLettering, which includes more templates, includes more style and effects than Type Extrude that only focuses on this one effect. But they are also the creators of Type Gradient, this genius app that I already reviewed in a previous episode that kind of allows us to create a gradient into a text box, which is something that was crucially missing on Canva. So these two other apps that are pretty cool as well, you should check them out, are also to be attributed to Pixel Thinkers. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you. This is not their first Canva app. And I believe that's one of the companies that does the best job at creating these Canva apps because they nail it every time with something that is missing in Canva. Now, let's review TypeLettering. The first time you log in, this is what you will see. You will find a collection of 10 templates or 10 text effects. I'm not going to review them all, but I'm going to show you a few cool ones that I think are quite interesting. Like this one right here on the last row, I'm gonna click on it and show you what it does. It's kind of like a letter soup. Well, that's how you call it in French. I don't know if that's a word in English. So yeah, you will make it. Let's change this for something else that could be useful to us. For example, and I'm gonna put my all caps here on my keyboard. I'm gonna write subscribe. All right, subscribe. So you see the preview right here is automatically updated to whatever you have typed here. So in your main text box. The second thing you can do is to change the font. All right, you have a bunch of cool fonts right here. You can search for fonts as well. So if I type in Montserrat, you see the Montserrat font family. I kind of like this font right here because it has this cool effect. So I'm going to stick with this one. The next section here allows me to play around with the alignment. So I could go centered, to the left, to the right. Okay, I'm gonna stick with centered. I have my line height. Okay, I can add more or less height, kind of like less, so it's kind of look messy like that. I like that. I'm gonna keep it like so. Then you have your color palette. So the color palette is very important for a design like this one, for example. So there is a little thing I would like to show you so that you can find cool color palettes directly from Canva without having to go very far. So what I'm going to do is to simply open a different tab right here in my browser, and I'm heading over canva.com/colors. You will land here. So from here, there's a bunch of resources about colors, but check out the color palette ideas, okay? From here, you will have a lot of predefined color palette for you. And so all you have to do is just find a palette that you like, and you will see how easy it is to copy the hex code. All right, so let's find one that we like, maybe on page 4. I like this one right here, raspberry cream. So I'm going to click on it. So this is what's going to happen. Canva is going to open an individual page where it gives me more information about this specific color palette. But most importantly, it gives me the possibility to simply copy the hex code. You see it says copy. So if I click on it, it will be copied to my clipboard. Let me quickly come back to my design here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors, but I can see that one is the background color, the first one, and the last one is kind of like the outline between each of the layers of these letters. So what I'm going to do is to only change these 4, which is great because I have 4 colors here. All right, so I'm going to start with the yellow-green color right here, which is the first layer of the letters, which is the one we see the most. So I'm going to switch that for this green, the neon green right here. So I'm clicking, see it's copied, little check mark, and I'm going to come here and simply Control V to paste it. There we go. And now it's been switched. So I'm moving to the second tab, and I'm going to add all of these other colors from the darkest to the lightest. Okay, this one, I'm gonna add it here, Control V, moving to the orange, copying this one, Control V, and then the last one right here, it's gonna be this lighter pink. There you go. So now you see this has already been updated. I'm gonna add this to my design. This is the last step you can add to design. There you go. It's gonna be generated very quickly. And there we go. We have created a very cool text effect that could be reflecting the colors of your brand. You could have fun with this, exploring the different color palettes I just showed you, canva.com/colors. Never forget this URL. It's a really, really useful URL. And yeah, so that was just one of the different apps of TypeLettering. If I come back, you can have some fun and play around with another one. Let's try one last one before I wrap up. For example, the first one here, today. I'm gonna click on it. So today the font is Pattaya. Kind of like this font, is really nice looking with this background. I'm gonna change this. What I wish they had is access to my brand colors. Okay, my brand kit. I wish all of these design apps, and I imagine there must be a reason why none of them do that. So no color picker and no access to the branded color of my brand kits. It kind of leads me to the conclusion that maybe it's not technically feasible. Maybe Canva doesn't allow app developers to do that via their API. I'm not completely sure what's the reason, but this is something I noticed. There's never a color picker when we are using these design apps. Anyways, I'm going to change this manually since there is no color picker. And I'm going to go for something kind of like classy of black and yellow. So let's go for a warm yellow and almost pure black, like so. There you go. Today, let's change the word today at least. Let's say something like that. I love you guys. And maybe we can put that in different. I love. Okay, like so. Love you, not guys, but guys. Love you guys. All right, add to design, and there you go. Oh, I see I lost my background here. And also it's not very well centered. Let's get rid of this one and let's scale that. There you go. And now what I can do here is to simply add my background. So my yellow background, I lost the intensity of my yellow background, can make it brighter like so. And I'm gonna leave it here because yeah, it's completely true. Diana and I really love you guys. You allow us to do what we love. You know, we are living our passion with this YouTube channel, with creating the content that we fancy. We love Canva and we love teaching you guys about Canva. So yeah, please continue to support by watching, by sharing, by liking and subscribing to what we do. We have a bunch of different courses as well that you can check out on Skillshare, on Udemy. All of that is linked in the description. Let's wrap it up. TypeLettering, a very good app, in my opinion, because it's easy to use, because it gives us a bunch of different templates, because it comes from a team that is professional, that's not at their first Canva app, so they know what they are doing. The little caveat is the thing that I showed you. There's no access to the brand colors, no color pickers. And also, I would love to see more templates. Come on, bring them on. Like, I know you can do it. Just a question of developing them and giving the community access to them. So guys, if you're watching, first, hello. And second, please give us more templates because these are great and we love them. So TypeLettering, a 4 out of 5, a must-try app if you ask me. And that's it for this tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to leave you with the rest of the hot new Canva apps series. So make sure to watch the other episodes.